Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large. It's the 107th edition in the history of the championship, dating back many, many years. My name is Harmon, and I'm thrilled to be joining you for some XRR action at the Hockenheimring by FM with my broadcast partner, Miika Särkkinen. Miika, how are you keeping?
Good evening. Nice to be back here once again. And let's see what this race keeps up for us. It's going to be an interesting one, maybe.
Yeah, it does have the potential to deliver, as this layout is definitely inspired by the famous Hockenheimring in Germany. One of us chose this combination, but isn't here to enjoy it. But nevertheless, this very, very impressive layout will deliver us some thrills and spills, with the finale coming in just a month's time. So it has been a very long year, but we're at month 11, and the 107th edition feels like the 100th was an eternity ago, but we're here to mark the penultimate round of the campaign, Miika, and the points for maybe not the championship. That can be very important, as we'll discuss in a moment, but here at the Hockenheimring, it is faithfully given the correct layout here, so you can see your famous curves. You've got the Svitsker, the hairpin, you've got the beautiful Mobile 1 curve, and you have the stadium section with the Sachs curve and the Suds curve, for example.
Yeah, it's of course a little bit different than the original ones, since we are on the layout square, so it's all flat and stuff. But it's fair enough job. It's decent track made out.
Yeah, for sure. You can't have it exactly one-to-one, but it's a great effort nevertheless. And here is our vehicle for today, one of the GT2 challengers, I suppose you could say, the XRR, with its 2-litre turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine, rear-wheel drive, weighing in at 1,100 kilos or 2,400 pounds, give or take, and nearly 500 brake horsepower. Suited a bit within this very interesting racing car, which will be put to the test, as of course this layout has to be drawn out one way, and the best way to do it, as you can see in the background, is very narrow walls and barriers, so it could mean overtaking will be a big challenge.
it should not be easy feat by any means, but of course it's the excellent version, so we get 10-second mandatory speed stop, and I'm not sure about the strategy. Probably you might not need to do any work, but of course this strategy always might play a little bit into the game, so let's see if it works out.
Yeah, Rony's pre-race stats and facts said you could get the R2s for a sort of short-term benefit with performance, or else the more typical R3, you have to try and keep those R3s warm if you prefer that strategy, whereas the R2s could end up failing to make the distance. But here's a look at our qualifying results, and it's Sufor's third career pole here in RTF4 XL, but he's never actually finished better than a P3. So something has to change.
That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, so Rony on the ball there, but Master Race Car lock out the front row with Creed there alongside his teammate just about half a second off the pace. Your teammate there, Tamuli, is third on the grid with Unite, who's hopefully feeling at his best. He said he's a bit unwell, so hopefully he'll take to the grid. He's fourth with Johnny SVK, Simox, Stephen Martin, Vic Tullo, Rony himself, and Jari Katila in the top 10. In a condensed grid as things stand, one of the lowest turnouts in eternity. We have 14 valid times with Michael Malik, Jay Smith, Matt Jester, and Hermani all vying to get onto the grid here, Miika.
Yeah, it's quite low attendance this time, but let's hope we still get some racing around.
And Tamuli has to take this opportunity to keep the title fight alive. Let's be honest here, if Gabor can be on 200 points, about 46 points clear with 2 rounds to go, then Tamuli really needs the maximum. Because of the turnout, it will be at his disadvantage if he doesn't get a good score, as he may as well throw in the towel. And Johnny, of course, has an outside bet if he can have an amazing end to the season. But with Rick Cardle not here, I would say Rony should be able to jump him. And as we scroll on past the second page here, because we're on the grid now, so we have to unfortunately leave you off if you didn't get shown on the table. But here we go, ready to get started here, Miika.
Yeah, the lights are on, red light coming up, and the green light is waiting and it's out there, and they're off. Seems quite equal start for everyone. Sufor seems to keep his first place well into the first corner. Emily just a little bit in trouble, trying to go over from the outside, but still stays behind there.
Yeah, so as you can see, the inside of the track is bordered by those smaller barriers before they rise up. And if you want to get 2 or 3 wide, it's almost impossible. They end up squeezing each other too tightly as we head past the Parabolica, and we'll be getting our first really big braking zone. And then a chance now for Creed to perhaps protect his teammate here from the lunges behind. Tamuli hangs on to third. Stephen Martin there in the white and pink as Fig Tullo neck and neck with him. Have to cross the next sector line to get updated order, but Fig Tullo has track advantage here, Miika.
Yeah, Fig Tullo made it past. That's a beautiful braking.
Michael Malik out of nowhere. That's incredible.
Oh, that's a brave lunge.
Achieve that. Anyway, we're past the technical section, and this is where the original circuit restarted, and the Bubble 1 curve, one of the best corners on the circuit in my opinion, as Rony gets through Martin as well. And here we go into the Sachs curve we go.
Steve Martin in big trouble at the early stages. Let's hope he can pick his pace up and keep fighting those guys ahead of him. But that's a tight back right there. It's close racing. No, Michael, he's going slow.
Locked.
They're bumping into each other. It's so narrow there. It's very hard to go side to side. Rony takes it on the inside of Victor on the main straight here. The first corner is very hard to try and overtake. It's fast right hand where you need to brake just a little bit. Rony doesn't try that syndicate inside.
Yeah, so the first corner is blocked off by the tyre stacks and the big wall on the outside, so you can't dare to run it flat out, unfortunately. Here's a look at Matt Jester on the inside of Steve Martin. So we've 2 battles to watch in a short span of circuit here. Michael Malik does have the ultimate advantage in P6. Matt Jester has got his car fully ahead of Stephen Martin now, braking very hard now. A bit late on the brakes was Matt Jester, and Victor Lowe will be thinking, how on earth was their car approaching me that quickly? But nevertheless, it is Matt Jester ahead of Martin, Yarkatilla and Hermani, a little bit cut adrift at the minute.
Yeah, that was scary. Might have been a little bit too scary for Victor, but luckily there's no incident more than that. Rony, he's having a good pace. He's still challenging Michael, who's ahead of him in the black and red car. Rony, he tries to get like past like every moment, but it's just so narrow. Like, the walls are so close. It's hard to come by with the overthinking spots.
Beautiful pass by Matt Jester around the outside into the Sachs curve, and the majority of these drivers have picked the R2, so they don't fear the ability to take a pit stop. They would rather a softer compound in exchange for an absolute certain pit stop. They wouldn't make it to the 46th lap without it, but of course you can fuel the car up pretty well on a full tank, and it will get you to the end for definite. Oh, the tyre gets hit in the air there. Victor Lowe has to try and fight back against Matt Jester.
Yeah, when it comes to the tire choices, I mean, R2 might be even a quite safer option, as if you have a problem with R2s that you might not be able to keep them warm enough. The overheating is much easier to handle than like the tires cooling down, so it's much easier to have two sets of R2s and take the best out of them.
Yeah, indeed, and Victor was lost out, but he tries a return serve here against Martin, and he makes it pay. Good work on the handbrake there to make sure he got around the apex, but just in front Matt Jester, with Rony stuck in the middle here. Michael Malik doing his best to perform a block or two here, leaves the door a bit open, and good job there, but Michael has overshot the corner a little bit. Rony should have the ability to sweep around the outside. Yes, he does, and that's Rony into 6th position there as our tracker now updates. Sufor's lead is about 1 second, so we haven't had a chance to talk about our MRC teammates, but they're doing very well so far.
Yeah, there's Manchester going on Michael, and they touch a bit there. Michael keeps his position and Manchester stays behind, and oh, that was going in the pit lane.
Yes,
Victor Lowe.
Yes, it is Victor Lowe.
Early pit stop, that's quite rare. Usually it's Rony that we see taking first lap pit stop, but this is quite rare sighting. Let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah, he'll be into an early box, so he just manages to get one eventually. See what service he needs to do. Does he need to damage, repair? No, he doesn't. I think he just wants to change tyres and get to the finish. So that's him, hopefully sorted for the rest of the race. And Stephen Martin can see Michael Malik and Matt Jester squabbling for 7th position at the moment. And Jester will have his nose in front, but he doesn't have the inside line. Michael gets a sniff of the slipstream, goes down the inside again, and is back ahead. Now for the switchback, he uses as much of the track as possible, but Matt Jester seems to have a very quick setup here. The acceleration seems to be more instant on his car.
Yeah, Michael very much struggling on the exits of the corner.
Oh, into the wall. Nose first there, he'd have to reverse, and that will drop him to 10th position as Yarkatilla is through.
Yeah, that's unlucky for Manchester, going a bit too wide, and the wall is right there, so it hurts your race quite badly. But he was able to carry in, so let's see where he can end up.
Yeah, Steve Martin's very close to Michael Malik now. They continue on with lap 5 about to begin for those drivers. The Sud curve remains here. And yes, a better run out here for Martin. He's on the inside. He has the ability to watch the tyre barrier. Yeah, and Michael Malik will have to fight back here. He will perhaps have a better racing line, and that lets him get right underneath.
Yeah, Michael Liaison into the first corner, but does come back onto the second corner. Oh, that's a beautiful one. It's great defensive driving from Michael. And oh, as I say, he hits the wall a bit. Oh, that allows Martin to get back ahead. But can Michael stuck in the slipstream? Yes, he's quite close there. I'm not sure if he can make it into the braking zone. Seems like he can. Oh, he's already alongside and oh, it's gonna be a hard fight through the corner. Michael tries to stick it from the outside, but Stephen Martin is able to carry good speed from the inside line.
Yeah, so this track, I did say it was going to be difficult to overtake, but it seems like it's difficult to settle an overtake because there's just so much back and forth, and Michael tries a daring switch around, but he ended up hitting Stephen Martin straight in the back, and he apologises for that one. Luckily, the XR for the LFS endurance champion in GT3s is able to carry on okay.
Looks like Michael wasn't quite ready for Stephen Martin. He just braked so early, so he ran into the back. Luckily, Potter cleaned through again back to their place, while Johnny SVK still holding fourth place against Timon, who's hanging very close to him.
He's keeping it pretty honest at the moment as we have given the spotlight to our drivers in 7th and below, with a chance for Samo to have a run at Johnny for 4th position here. As without Sidus representation, as Unai has indeed withdrawn his participation, it means that everyone has a chance to get a rare opportunity to win without Sidus competition. And Matt Jester versus Yarkatilla take 2 as that mistake at the Mercedes curve just in front of the big grandstand there, and he's going down the inside.
Yeah, quick job from Matt Jester catching up Katila right here. Katila brakes very late, he's sitting it very wide. Oh, I don't think he's gonna recover from that. That's Matt Jester positions every time.
Yeah, that's the way it does crumble in the end. Matt Jester back up to P9 for now. Oh, late dive! Oh my word! How is that gonna work?
That was a very late one. I'm like on it. It's very scary to see all these announcements and such very hard to just like the decisions of the drivers sometimes.
Yeah, it was just a late launch there for Yari, but it, thankfully again wasn't an incident that resulted in a major spin or other bit of flag contact. So we will double check that and see how Yari gets on after trying his luck there, but it didn't pay off.
Yeah, not this time, unfortunately, but he'll have maybe other tries again in the future. There we see Suvor still having a lead over Cried, but Cried he's staying quite close. Suvor not able to just carry away too much.
Yeah, he has a slightly quicker first sector here on this particular lap, and it is going to reduce the gap down. Sector 2 is just before Mobile 1 curve, so that will be another 5 seconds or thereabouts until we can compare for real. Just underneath the advertising board there, yeah, 1 minute 5.0 for Creed, I should say, and then a half a second off the pace there, Sufor. So the gap is slashed by half a second. So Creed has a chance to go for the race lead in a little while.
Yeah, he's done some leading in the past races, I think. He's not usually the fastest, but he's often been like on the very top positions and momentarily gotten the lead. I don't think he has any wins, at least not in the near past. But he's certainly contesting for this win.
Yeah, he's definitely in contention as Tamuli there. He's the most isolated driver in the sort of the top 10 at the moment. He's just doing his own thing for now, as he is about 6.5 seconds behind Creed there. That means at least everyone else has some sort of pairing that they consider. But poor old Tamuli on the podium, of course. He just has to worry about his own race and keep the car in between the walls.
Yeah, it's quite consistent going for everyone right now. Not really any fights going on. The closest pairing is, well, it's actually Manchester versus Michael. Manchester has caught up to Michael, and then after that, the closest one is so far quite in the lead. But here we have Manchester closing up, not quite able to go on the down yet, but he might be able to.
Yeah, a little while before we can see these two have another contest. I'm just taking it a little bit leisurely since he had that incident with Steve a little while ago. Safe enough through Mercedes curve. They'll be setting their sector 2 times in just a moment. Here they go, 1:06 for Michael. Or sorry, that's Manchester, beg your pardon. 1:06 for Manchester. And then a 1:06.5. So a little gain there for Manchester, 1:06.3 to be more precise. And a crash for Jari. He's out of bounds. He's gone over the Mobile 1 curve too high, and now the Sachs curve, he can't actually get into it. Yeah, he's gone way too fast into Mobile 1, and there's no way back onto the circuit. There's no entry points or other exit areas.
For him.
Yeah, how horrible. He's just going to be on the...
Yeah, he's trying to look for a way. I mean, Hitlane could have something.
And Victor Lowe's out of the race. Victor Lowe spectates and says goodbye.
Wonder what happened there.
Yeah, I didn't see.
But Victor Lowe could have had a wise strategy, take it early pit stop, so he got out of the traffic. Had to set good lap times, but something's clearly happened and he's out of the race now, so we don't see how that plays. Still hanging close to 4, only 7/10 speed on the last split. And this is maybe a bit surprising that Sufor isn't able to carry away. He had like half a second faster lap on qualifying, so I thought he'd slowly start taking the lead and start building it. But here we are, still just a second apart from each other.
Yeah, Jari concedes defeat and starts with a brand new car, so he will be about 8 laps down, so he'll hope for more DNFs or just to get to the end and pick up a few points. Hermani is on lap 9 at the moment. He's definitely pushing quite hard, but his R3s are starting to get cold, so that could be a point of concern there for the 10th place driver. But no such problems with the R2s. They're heating up nicely for our lead pair. And we'll get back to the battle now for PA. Michael Malik, he took the corner more appropriately there. And Mad is just half a second behind. He's very brave on the brakes here, Miika, so he will catch up very quickly.
Yeah, he should. It seems like Michael has slightly earlier braking points overall than Manchester, and maybe Manchester was a little bit caught up by that and messed up the first corner, but he's not too far away. He's very close to Michael. And here the hard braking zone. Does he dive inside? No, he just keeps it inside. Michael still leaves the door almost open, but Manchester not able to dive inside.
Yeah, that is certainly a worthwhile overtaking point at the hairpin if you can pull it off, but as we saw with Jari, for example, it can go pear-shaped as well if you just leave it too late to brake. And through turn 8 into turns 9 and 10 now. A little bit better there for Manchester, I think. He's gaining a little bit of the deficit back on the second sector there. And yeah, that's how you take Mobile 1 curve there, just keeping it away from the barrier. And then Sachs curve here, the long left-hander, but we don't, as Miika said in the build-up, we don't have the banking, as it's not possible to recreate it I forget the name exactly, but yeah, the builder, the custom track
Yeah,
builder
the
on the
layout
layout
square.
square. That's the
Yep.
one. Thank you. Very appreciate it there, Miika. So lap
But
11 begins for these guys, and a new personal best there for Mad and Michael Malik. Exact same lap time. Wow, incredible.
And Manchester, he was much more patient through the first corner this time around, as he's very much closer to Michael Malek, and he should have a good get out here from the second corner. And he's already passed. Wow, that's a very bad exit from Michael Malek, but he stuck into the slipstream, and he will have the chance to go into the inside. And how is the braking gonna be? He was gonna brake later.
Yeah, about 125 meters is Michael's target braking zone, and that works out well. This is definitely the spirit of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. We're having competitive but light-hearted fun here, and this battle is definitely a highlight of the first third of the race as we're ticking by into the about 25 to 28 minute mark.
This is fun seeing as Manchester clearly has more pace. He's faster. And that's a mistake from Michael. Opens the door and Manchester is through for now. But let's see if Michael can make any close break.
Wobble.
Another
Big
hit
wobble.
into the wall. Yeah, I was just about to say that Michael has done some good defensive driving for the duration of the race, but now he's messed up a little bit, and Manchester is through. And I would see Manchester having a bit more pace and just escaping away.
Yeah, I think Mad Jester is more comfortable in the car at the moment. We see the laps dramatically swing in his favour after the dead heat we saw last lap. Now those guys, they've lost so much time against each other. They're 8 seconds off Rony and Stephen Martin, who are going to have a contest for 6th place in a little while, but Simo is just a little bit further ahead of them as we enter the hairpin. Stephen Martin coming from deep, but he does slow it down very well, and they carry on about half a second apart.
Yeah, Stephen Martin has found his pace despite lack of pace on the early stage, where he lost a bit of places, and he's fought back and caught up to Rony, and now he has to make some moves again, which is great for us. It seems like we're getting a lot of action tonight.
Yes, that is very true. So one of the lowest turnouts since the 44th RTF4 back in 2020. So
yeah, that's
been about 5 years of success in terms of attendance, but tonight our luck has been dashed through. Certainly Unite would have been great to have. I know his XL luck has been extremely poor at times, but he's just feeling a bit unwell today, so I hope he feels better very soon indeed. So it's a shame Sidus Unite made sure there are no Sidus cars on the grid, but yeah, I just hope he will be feeling better next time.
Yeah, we wish him a speedy recovery. Whatever he's going through, hopefully it's nothing too bad. Stephen Martin, he lost a bit time against Rony in the last laps, so he's not in the attacking distance right now. But let's see if he can find his pace back and fight back.
Yeah, his first sector was better than Rony's by about 3/10, and that will allow him to catch up. And Jari Cattell is going to be lapped by these guys pretty soon, so Simo was a lot further ahead than my eye test. But now the blue flags are out for Hermani this time, so Creed, he was quicker on the second sector, but I think that little distraction may have cost him that slim advantage he had. We'll cross the line now. Should be mid-40s for both drivers. Correct, yeah, actually Creed gains 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, well, when the lead is less than 2 seconds, right, like it is right now, every 10th counts, so you don't really want to lose too much time behind the blue flag cars, but luckily for Super, that's only the 10th and not much more.
yeah, you can only do what you can. Be respectful, but with the tightness of the circuit here, it's not like the real circuit with its generous runoff areas. You do just have to find a spot and make sure you can slow down safely, and everyone can get by you when it suits, but don't ruin your race too much either. Rony versus Steve there, very, very close, but it's a minor advantage to Steven. And we'll cross the Sector 1 line underneath the ad board there, and this time Rony's quicker in Sector 1, giving him a 9/10 of a second advantage. So we'll see again how these drivers go back and forth as the laps progress.
Yeah, it seems to be very equal at this stage. But they both got their momentum at times. If Steven Martin is able to get his momentum, he should be able to try and make that pass happen.
Yeah, it's just a question of what corner or corners could facilitate such an overtake, Miika. So, oversteer moment there for Rony. That's going to cost him that 10th of a second he had through the first sector. Fastest lap has been achieved by race leader Sufor. Creed has lost about 4/10 of a second himself, so that's a big warning shot across the bow as Sufor pulls out a greater lead. No one is tempted by the pits after we saw an earlier pit stop from Victolo for his DNF, unfortunately, earlier in the race.
Yeah, so far no stops. But of course everyone has to take the 10 seconds pit stop. And it's gonna play some role in the race. Not sure how big or what kind of role, but some role at least.
Yeah, so as we go through the Mobile 1 curve with the Master Race car, this is the Mercedes curve, beg your pardon. So yeah, my mistake there. It looked pretty similar from a distance, but we'll check out the Sector 2 times in a moment. And this time the reaction has come from Creed as they enter the Mobile 1 curve officially. Tamuli himself caught a bit of drift. He'll be setting his Sector 2 time right now. That's 105.46. So yeah, you can see just how strong the Master Race car duo is at the moment. And now the Sud curve will complete yet another lap here, heading closer towards the 1/3 distance. And there we go, across the line they both go. And actually Sufor caught up a bit in the 3rd sector there to minimize his time loss there. Comparing this now, Rony and Steve Martin, and Rony was a lot quicker on this lap so far, and Stephen has to think, what else can I do here to make this a real contest?
Yeah, it's still the back and forth between them, but it's been there on around a second, the difference between those guys. So it can evolve away anyway or the other.
Michael Malik, he's lost a fair bit, as you predicted, Miika, to Mad Jester. He's pulled well clear, and 1 minute 42.6 shows that there's been an error somewhere in Michael's lap. And here is Steve Marr's best chance. It must have been some sort of mishap there for Rony in the 1st sector, and here comes Stephen on the inside. He's going to be through with the overspeed.
Yes, but Rony isn't gonna let it off that easily. He's gonna fight back for sure. He's behind right now, not going to the inside line. Steven Martin trying to struggle it out of the corner, and he's through for now. That's a good, sleek and clean move.
Yeah, really, really well done there. And that does certainly spicing up this fight quite a bit. And Mad Jester, has he made a mistake? He has. He certainly has. He's slowing down dramatically. And that could be a fuel issue, as he has gone way under what he should be fueling. Yeah, it's a fuel mishap here. He might have been going for a 2-stopper, Miika, and he's out of fuel.
Yeah, that's very unlucky, and he's so far off the pits that he can't even fall into the pit lane. That's unfortunate. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. Your fuel gauge, you have to be very, very conscious of it. And yeah, eventually race leaders are going to come. Sufor and Creed will see the car out of fuel in their windshields in just a moment. So yeah, hopefully he can alert them that he's in a dangerous spot on the circuit. Yeah, just say, yeah, he's actually okay. He didn't make the apex. Yeah, he stopped before the apex. So Matt Jester has to choose to continue his race via Control and P, or he spectates. And Michael Malik has gone into pit lane, saying he needs a bit of extra fuel to make to the end, I think. Yeah, refuel there for Michael Malik. So he
just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, he's timed it with the fuel. So well done, the 10.05 pit stop. Michael will be quite a ways behind now. But he's by himself. Oh dear, he's wobbling around a bit. I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh, he's just on the keyboard. So yeah, back to racing, please, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah, he was sad about losing Manchester from the race. He would have offered his help, but unfortunately Manchester already joined the spectators, so no help. Doesn't help anymore. But Sufor and Creed, they are still very close to each other. It's quite on the rare side to see the top two sticking together like this when they pull a 15-second lead before lap 20.
Yeah, it is incredible to be so far ahead already by yourself. And Simo has gone into the pits, the Skulls driver. He's very aggressively pited the car, but he's missed his clutch there. He missed his clutch.
Oh.
He has to turn the engine back around. But yeah, no speed limit. The speed limits have not been set up on this circuit. Jagtila is more than half the race behind here, so no concern here. Just making sure the ignition was sorted there. Better to have it happen in this kind of car, where it is reasonably possible to just put the engine back to life, whereas an open wheeler, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, with open wheelers, you want to be much more careful with your starts, so you don't stall the engine. It might be race over at that point.
Yeah. And Yari does have the opportunity to give a little bit of a battle here. He won't overtake, I would imagine, unless he's absolutely sure he can do it. Creed gets the fastest lap this time, a 139.59, gaining half a second back on Sufor, who is a 3 times pole sitter, including tonight in XL, but he has yet to win the extended 65 to 70 minute race. And his teammate is the best contender to do it, but Tamuli P3 still all alone. He has been too quick for perhaps 90% of the grid, but it's that final 5% that has been exhibited very well by Sufor and Creed.
Yes, but looking back to the stat, that Sufor has only been up to P3 in the race. It seems like if there's no any major mistakes or anything like that for him, he should be able to get at least P2, so it's going to be improvement. But it should be a close fight for the win as well, since those guys are so close in the pace to each other.
Yeah, definitely. There seems to be a great affinity for this designed Hockenheimring by FR that these two guys just seem to gel with very well. Johnny SVK, in fairness to him, he's doing a similarly good job to Tamuli, but he's another 15 seconds behind the Zafaralis driver today. Steve Martin in P5. He has Rony just behind him there for position, but Simo in 7th has made that pit stop earlier in the race, just a few minutes ago, and he will be the most impressively placed driver to reclaim 5th place by the time of the pit stops. And then Michael Malik is P8, the last driver on the lead lap so far.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how Rony has kept up his pace very well. He's stayed fairly close to Stephen Martin, even though we just saw him tap the wall a little bit there, so it wasn't the best lap for Rony the last time around. But he's sticking there. He has a good pace to fight for it. Well, he's P6 right now, but Simo should be coming to past him, so it's gonna be P7.
And I hasten to mention there, in fact, fantastic fastest lap from Sufor just a lap ago, a 138.8. Utterly demolishes the previous best there, the 139.9 or 139.5 set by Creed. So Sufor, I think he's feeling the ultimate performance in the car. Fuel will be nice and low at this stage, not too low, of course, that he'll run out. Similarly, the tires are going to be in excellent condition as well, so this is where the race could be won and lost in terms of pure pace. And Creed looks very quick himself here, 139.1, gets 8/10 back, so this is absolutely exceptional work from these two. They're going hammer and tong, and hopefully they'll go side by side before the pit stops.
Yeah, they're just like kind of trained in the fast laps. One lap, another gets the fast lap, and one goes a little slower, and then the next lap it's the other way around. So they just keep close to each other. I wonder if their strategy is something with the fuel. If they're gonna fuel up and maybe stop with the fuel. So it might mean that they are running low, and that's why they might be going so fast.
Yeah, of course, that is a distinct possibility. No one seems to favor the full tank to the finish technique, as of course these R2s have been the far more popular choice, as drivers are definitely able to bring them up to a great heat peak rather than the fear of chill. It's more difficult to work the right front. Most of all, there isn't enough of a challenge to make sure that tire gets put up to the ideal temperature. Perhaps the left-handers at Sachs curve and Mercedes curve are your best chances to really get that working, but it's not regular enough, as you have a lot more right-handers than lefts.
Yeah, you only got like those two left-handers on this track that actually matter. The rest of them are right-handers, so the left-hand tires are much more under the load through the race.
Yeah, and look at Creed. He is really giving this a huge effort now. Sufor starting to slow down a bit after that qualifying standard lap, and that means there's one more big swing left for Creed to pull off, and then we will definitely have a battle for a race lead here. The slipstream very useful in the XRR, and they're braking just where they need to get the apex nailed there, and they carry on their merry way. But yeah, Sufor needs to be very quick in the Mercedes curve to make sure this doesn't get too close for comfort.
Yeah, agreed. Seems like he's started pushing hard, and maybe he's gonna give the contest to Sufor at this moment of the race. Let's see if they start actually battling. They have a good fair off bumper behind, 15 seconds, so they can afford to lose time into battling each other. So why not to make it on track?
Yeah, it's almost perfectly matched on this lap. A tiny 0.02 of a second has been taken by Creed here into the race leader's advantage. And now final corner, the Sud curve. But Sufor's launch, that looks better to me. It's only an eye test, but we'll get it for certain across the line. Yeah, big advantage there for Sufor, gaining 0.3 in that single sector to help him clear away again. And it looks even more promising into the first sector after the Nord curve was taken a bit more comfortably. But then into turns 2, 3 and 4, That looked like Creed got the time back. Yes, he certainly did.
He got almost a tenth up so far. And on the line, the distance between them was 0.7 seconds. Creed seems to be barely in the slipstream, just catching up, but certainly not close enough to make any moves at the moment. But he might actually be getting help by Toe of Support at the moment.
Yeah, it's perhaps a case of the fact that you're laser focused on the car in front of you. You're trying to follow its patterns as best you can while still remaining focused on where you're putting your own car. Now, yeah, this looks like Creed's best opportunity of the first stint here. We will see Michael Malik getting lapped very soon. Of course, he should be able to get that lap back when these drivers choose to pit. We're about to cross halfway here now. That's a big understeer for Sufor. Very, very wide. Good spot, Miika. And this is Creed. He has to sort of stand back. He doesn't want to misplace the car there in the final corner. So he gets away with one as Hermani is in the box.
Yeah, that was a rare mistake from Sufor, and Creed, he wasn't just close enough to punish him for that, but yeah, Creed, he had to slow down a bit so he doesn't just stick the car inside of Sufor and cause them to crash into each other, which could have been catastrophic.
Of course, yeah. Tamuli not able to match the lap times either, but the slipstream here for Creed is going to be very, very welcome. Look at this, he's got 3 or 4 kilometers an hour on him already. He is really, really close now, but not close enough. Michael could give Sufor a get out of jail free card if they meet at just the wrong part of the track. He'll know Mercedes curve is just a bit too much to accept. It's a very narrow part of the track that condenses on you. The road really does narrow quickly there, so it's not safe to be caught there. Martin is in the pit. Steve Martin will have his planned pit stop, tires and fuel.
Yeah.
It's actually just tires, beg your pardon.
Only tires. That's a good note. So we'll keep an eye on the other pit stops if they are similar strategy or different. Yeah, leaders, they are still coming up to past Michael with blue flags, and Michael, he's right there on the way of Sufor, touches the wall a little bit. Sufor is able to go through there right now, and Creed, he's coming almost on the same door opening as we say. Not quite. Michael goes away from the racing line and lets him pass. Not really time lost for either. Maybe Sufor lost a slight bit on the last corner, but Creed has just dropped down a bit further at some point, so no imminent threat coming our.
Yeah, I think the last lap was better for Sufor in general, so that will allow him to push forward and make sure there is a way back into this race. So the temptation certainly will be to watch that fuel gauge if they have fueled under the average. Steve Martin has enough fuel to go to the end here, so that is one thing that Rony, for example, should be thinking about. Does he need to top up a little bit more in exchange for a faster car in the first stint? We will find that out as things go on, but again, Creed he's tantalizingly close. He's able to find time every 2 or 3 laps, but then the 4th lap that sets him up for the home run, he just can't quite get it the way he needs it to. So it will come down to pit strategy, I think, Miika.
Yeah, the pit strategy might have a play on this. But let's see. It's still possible that there might be some fight happening on the track.
Jari Katila, there he is in the forefront of the shot here. Camera work by Chris McElroy, our race liaison, making sure everything looks as close to realistic as possible here. Here comes the blue flag, so best to get out of the way now. Jari, oh no, he did not respond. This is a very bad place to be blocking a faster car. And Creed is going to say, thank you so much. This could change the fate of the race. And Jari will have to apologise for that one.
Yeah, so far loses just a critical amount of time there, and that allows Creed to come onto the slipstream, and he's diving inside. This is now the battle for the lead. Creed very deep into the corner, and so far tries to keep it around the outside, and they go side to side on the exit. Oh, this next right-hander it's a very fast turn. You should go pretty much flat out. Oh, it's so hard to come by side by side. These guys, they are able to go through it.
My word. Through Mercedes curve they go. Sufor is going to be switched back here, and the Mobile 1 curve, very, very difficult to overtake. But with the advantage, it's Creed ahead for now, but then the Sachs curve, it's Sufor's advantage on the high side. There's no gravel trap to worry about, but the walls will get tight. And again, they're so unbelievably evenly matched. And Sufor hangs on in stunning fashion, but one more curve for the lap to finish up before they begin lap 27. And Creed probably is stunned to think he had a glorious chance, and Sufor shut the door on him. That is absolutely remarkable.
Well, how about that? We got a proper fight for the lead, and now so far he's very fast through the first corner. Creed getting dropped down a little bit, but can he get a good exit out of the second corner here and onto the slipstream? If he can certainly make another battle happen in the following lap. He seems to be maybe just a bit too far to go any moves, at least on this hard braking, but he might get another slipstream right after the corner.
Yes, he does have about 4 kilometers up on Sufor, but it has to come to an end there with the braking zone for the hairpin. And there we go. It's all back to square one after the high drama caused by the blue flag situation. 10 cars still running on circuit, but 2 are multiple laps down. And here we go again. Yeah, Sufor and Creed after the early action with Rony, Steve Martin and company. Really, really good stuff. It's now all about our race leaders. Really, really exciting.
Yeah, Sufor must feel quite relieved to get back in this position and keep his place after getting slowed down a little bit by Jari Katila. But well, it's not over yet. Creed is still very close behind, and he can still put up the fight. But so for now, he can just breathe a little again and get back to his pace.
I forgot Victor's name there, so apologies, Victor. Oh, understeer for Creed there. Michael Malik was a part of that incredible 4-way battle earlier on. So Victor Lowe and Michael Malik out of reach for tonight. Well, certainly Michael could still figure his way back in, but now that the leaders have been split up again, as Creed has pushed a little bit too hard now, it might be worth trying an undercut with the pit stop. But I suppose if he doesn't time it correctly, then yeah, the tires will go off when he needs them at the end of the race. So that's the quandrum they've got to solve. Jari Katila is in the box now, so he'll be perhaps taking on fuel because those tires are absolutely freezing.
Yeah, looking back to this is still almost a fight going on between these two guys. But looking at that time tower, the Hamley has only gained like 2 or 3 seconds against them. Meanwhile, they were battling each other. So as I said, they have a good buffer of time there, and they can like afford to fight each other as long as they don't hit each other. So my bet is that the on-track battle is not done yet. Creed is still gonna go for that later on.
And Jari has repaired his car, and he's topped up to the finish on fuel, so it's a long way to go for him, of course. Lap 18 he's only on, whereas everyone else is about 10 laps ahead of him after that earlier incident at Mobile 1 curve where he went out of bounds and there's no safe area to rejoin the circuit. One of those things that you never think about, I suppose, when you're designing on Layout Square. But Sufor and Creed will come up to him in a while. Perhaps another 2 or 3 laps, they'll meet him up again. So that means one of these drivers maybe could be tempted to go into the pits to avoid a similar fate to what we saw a little while ago. Oh, and actually Jari is very, very slippery in that hairpin, so he wasn't able to slow down at all well. So that car is struggling.
Yeah, let's hope that the next time around the blue flag situation will come in a much better place, so it's easier for Catillo to let him pass. But I'm sure Catillo will take a note from that, and he will make his best job that he can, not interfering with the battle again.
Yeah, it's difficult for Rony to police the race when he's driving, but he'll know if anyone keeps committing blue flag infractions, then they have to be given some sort of reprimand, because it does have a major outcome on the racing. And now, as the back and forth continues here, this XRR so aggressive to tame on a consistent basis. So Sufor, he's on the wrong side of this booking Bronco at the moment, and Creed looks a little bit more settled at this moment in time. We're down to 0.4 of a second between the two Master Race Car competitors, and now this might be Creed's best chance to go for the lead. He was so close about 3 or 4 laps ago, and he's going to try again. Tamuli is in the pits, so Johnny SVK will proceed and briefly inherit 3rd position.
Yeah, Creed is close. He's certainly on the slipstream. He's gaining. He's gonna be alongside Sufor, takes the inside line. He's gonna defend there. Creed sends it very, very late. He's gonna try to go it outside, and he doesn't really get it to stick. Doesn't really get the good exit out of there. Still stays behind Sufor, but he's still very close into the slipstream, and he can very certainly make some moves here if he feels brave enough.
Oh,
but this corner hard.
Yari's sliding in front. He needs to move over now, and he does so. Good job there.
Unless both of them passed.
Yes.
That's a good work from Miika though.
Yeah, well done there, Jari. And back to the racing here. Thank you for covering that battle, Miika. And of course, with about 17 laps to go, there's just no give between these two. It hasn't been decided in the pit lane. That could shake up the grid a little bit. We don't know which driver will definitely want to refuel or not, and by how much. These tires will not make it to the end, given how fierce the push laps have been for these two. The tires will eventually go off, but for now there is enough life as Sufor clips a tire stack briefly there, and thankfully Creed didn't get affected too badly there. Sector 1 comes up very quickly. They'll go underneath the advert board, and we'll see they're both in the 18.5s. Narrow win for Sufor there, but he's going to lose all that time with this latest slipstream.
Yeah, Creed still on the slipstream. It helps him very much in the straight. You can just see the difference that it makes when Creed comes closing down and so forth. But so far still far enough ahead that Creed can make any dive bombs inside, and that must be feeling good for Sufor, knowing that he's just well enough ahead. Oh, that's a bit wide line for Sufor, not a very good one when you're in the lead like that. Creed taking a very different line, profiting a little bit from that. Let's see.
Yeah, that was a more preferred line to me, but then out of Mobile 1, Sufor is quicker, and that'll give him a handy fight back here on this lap. So I think it will be another sort of 50-50, no advantage gained either way, unless the Sud curve tells us something very different. I think Sufor has better acceleration on the start finish straight, and that should give him the latest win, by about 3/10.
Let's see, Sufor just slightly taps the tires again on the inside, but it doesn't really affect him. Neither does Creed. So They're both very well through there. Creed having a little bit of slide there, a little oversteer. I think he braked a little late and tried to correct that, so he's lost out so far on this first part of the lap quite a bit.
Yeah, so again, as we've seen, the cars will not behave themselves each and every lap. You have to just really knuckle down and keep going as best you can and deal with the slower sections as and when they come. So these two just continue to raise the bar, and Johnny SVK is only taking the second and third corners now, so it's remarkable just how far they're ahead.
Yeah, of course, the Hamley from P3 went into pits, so he's just behind Johnny SVK at the moment. So the lead will come down a little bit, but still, the pair of MRC, they are just so far away that no one can really contest them unless they come into huge trouble.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Oh, yes, I was just thinking that left front tire was a concern, and Creed will attempt the undercut one way or the other to win this 107th Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large. So here he goes. The entry to pit lane is very slow, but once you find your box, oh, he misses one. He's missed one. So that's going to cost him a little more time. But once you're on the power, you don't have a speed limit. So a rare case of a layout square track not having the pit lane speed limit sections prepared. So once Creed can be released, he's going to be fully on the power, and that's a 16.5-second stop for a tire change and a refuel.
That's interesting, going for both tire change and refuel. It's a little longer stop, so I'm not sure if Suffer is on the same strategy or if he has any different one. But if Suffer can save a couple seconds on the pit stop, then that might profit him quite a bit.
Yeah, so the decision lies on the lap of Sufor. If he pits straight away, he knows he just needs to take 30 seconds from beginning to end to stay in the lead. But if he continues on, he must be pretty confident in the condition of his tires and the amount of fuel still in the tank. So we're going to find out exactly how similar or different the teammates have elected to challenge for tonight's race. So we're going to watch, and he's in the merging line, so he responds immediately, and he needs half a minute. Oh, he hits the wall there. That's going to cost him. But as long as he matches or he meets the pit box correctly, then he should be okay. So I hope he's been practicing his pit stops, because this could determine the race.
Yeah, the pit entry there is so narrow. It's very hard to navigate. And so far there...
Oh, he's missed one.
Yeah, I thought he was stopping for that, but he just accelerated a bit more. So similar to Creed. Not sure if there's any profit coming to either one's way. So Creed's stop was 16.58. Let's see what it comes for. So for 10 seconds is the mandatory minimum, and so far it's off.
He's changed the
17.63. Oh, this is gonna get close. Creed seems to be ahead, I think.
Yes, the undercut has paid off, and at last Creed is in the lead. So Sufor and his dream of winning in Ronnie's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large remains an enigma. He has to keep pushing. It's out of reach at the minute. 2 seconds was the switch around there, as Creed was more comfortable with his setup, and Sufor had to make a big adjustment, and he did not change the tires.
Yeah, Sufor did not change
his tires.
He repaired his body
Creed
damage.
misses the hairpin as Johnny is in the pits, allowing the Mooley back through. So if you thought it was time to tone down the excitement, then you're absolutely wrong. We've been given a big boost here, and now Rony inherits 4th place, as we just lost our timing board there for just a moment, so we apologize for that.
Yeah, I was saying, so far he didn't change tires, but he changed setup, so it might be just that he changed the tire pressure, so he can serve the tires until the end. But fixing that body damage, I think that cost him a little bit too much time, and that's why he lost the Creed.
Oh, Michael Malik is on the exit of the Sud curve now, so he can use his blinkers to get out of the way and then into pit lane. So that's one way back for Sufor. If he's very faithful to these tires, then he's got to show them now, because Creed will get them up to speed in a little while. They're starting to show the signs of life, but we'll know next time by just how quick this same set of tires is for Sufor, and he has gained a lot of time in that third sector alone, so this is very interesting.
Yeah, the tension is really building up. There's not much between. It's 1.6 seconds, 1.4 seconds now after the split line between the top two. It was more than 2 seconds after the pit stop, so Sufor really catching up. But let's see if Creed can answer to that and get his pace back up a bit more.
Michael Malik curses anyone who told him the R2s would make it to the end of the race, as he needed to make a pit stop there just to get rid of them and start over again with R2s. So yeah, he was misinformed there. Sorry to hear that, Michael, but you're not out of the race just yet. Keep working. As lap traffic there once again, Jari, he gets out of the way for Creed first, but he does not for Sufor. He's still on the power where it was most concerning, and that will cost Sufor a little bit of time. He's on his warpath on the same set of tires that he started with, and understeer for Creed, and then the oversteer in the Sud curve or Sachs curve there. So now this is perhaps all's fair. So neither driver has gained a significant advantage there.
Yeah, both having a little struggle there. So far, it seems like he's a bit closer to Creed than he was before, but still, Creed is comfortably like ahead, so not immediate threat coming from Sufor.
Yeah, the threat is not going to arrive immediately, but sooner rather than later. I think Sufor has one chance to change the destiny of the race and overtake Creed, and then try and hold him up as best he can with 11 laps to go. And the gap is almost underneath 1 second here. It's 1.08.
It's coming down again.
Yeah, I think Sufor is more confident on corner exit, for example, whereas Creed, we saw last lap, he is struggling to get the power down appropriately, but Sufor has no such concerns.
Yeah, Creed pushing hard. He's getting a little of temperature into the tires, so he has to be careful not to overheat them. So for having the more worn out tires, they don't heat up as easily as they're like past the heat peak. So for it has it easier pushing those tires than Creed at the moment. But let's see how this evolves. It's anyone's game at the moment.
Yeah, Sufor knocks a little bit more time out in sector 2 here, but I suppose Creed was a little bit slower in general, so he has gained a little bit of time back on the flip side. But now the Sud curve is coming. Creed was closer to the apex there, but I think Sufor just have to concede that sector there. He's lost a little bit of time in that end. Actually, no, he was pretty quick himself. It was just the acceleration. And now it's underneath 1 second. So we're getting to the fine crescendo here with 10 laps to go. Creed will eventually get those tires into the ideal window. But of course, everyone had to top up their fuel tanks. So it's not going to be easy for Sufor. He knows what to do to defend his lead, as he only lost it through the pit stops. But does he know how to attack and get the win off his teammate? That is the question.
Yeah, if this pace keeps up. Oh, Creed goes a little wide. That opens the gap for Sufor to sneak up under the slipstream, and he's right there. And this is the critical moment for Creed. He should be very careful of his tires. He doesn't want to overheat them, but he has Sufor pushing very hard. Oh, and Creed goes into the wall, and that decides to win for Sufor if he can just keep it mistake-free from now on. Oh, that's a little anticlimactic to see, but
heartbreaker. The front left and indeed the rear left are very hot as well, so he's completely forced a lot of energy in them to the braking zone there. But that's the pressure got to him, and that means it's a cruise to the finish here, as his greatest competition is long gone. And Tamuli, after taking his pit stop a little bit earlier on, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he certainly did have a pit stop earlier. So Sufor can just cruise to the finish, as Creed will be compromised on those tires. Horrible scenes here, but that's motor racing for you.
Yeah, but let's remember it was Michael Malek in the chat cursing whoever told him that the R2s would make it, and they didn't. Apparently it was Sufor who told him, and Sufor is going with the same R2s. There still is a chance that he will wear them out, but I don't see that really happening. I think Sufor will be able to keep those R2s until the end, especially that now that Creed is a bit further behind, so he doesn't need to push as fast. He can save them a bit.
Yeah, we saw Rony on camera a little while ago there, and his front left A pillar is quite squashed in fairness, or the front wheel arch, I should say. It hasn't affected. Yeah, there you go. You can see it now. Thank you, Elmo. You can see it's squashed in quite a bit, but it hasn't put off his performance, as he is lapping pretty strongly. That'll keep Johnny, who's 11 seconds further behind, a little bit back. But of course, I believe Rony has not pitted yet, so it means that the battle for 5th place will probably belong to Johnny and Simo, with Steve Martin as well on outside bet there as well. He's actually catching pretty impressively against Simo, or Seamox, however you want to pronounce it. So there we go. We could have another battle to make up for the mistake of Creed's that has cost him so much.
Yeah, Ronnie must have been pretty hard to the wall at some point, since the damage looks quite similar to what Creed got from his collision to the wall, and we saw how fast he went in there.
We saw just how quick he was. Fastest lap there by Sufor, just to rub it in a little bit, a 1:38.7. Let's compare split times. Simo has 0.03 of a second advantage to this current lap after 2 sectors. One more to go before we get a clearer picture. Stephen just a little bit more hesitant there on throttle, but Simo gets a snap of oversteer before he completes the lap. And yeah, it should be 1:40s across the board. Yeah, it's actually a better lap for Simo there. And he's 7 seconds behind Johnny, who now meets Michael to one of his other Master Race Car teammates to put him another lap down.
Yeah, that difference between Simo and Stephen Martin is still quite small, so that could evolve into a fight later on. But this is Michael Malek. He has blue flags, and that's Johnny SVK coming through. Johnny SVK right now on P5, but I think Rony still hasn't pitted from P4, so Johnny SVK should be able to regain that place.
And Sufor smashes the previous best from qualifying, and he enters the 1:37s there. It's a server best, as Hermione misses his corner there. So Hermione does the right thing by getting out of the way. But yeah, a server best lap there by Sufor. And that means that Creed on a 1:40 just doesn't have any response. It's a almost certain victory here, depending on connectivity and just keeping it mistake free here. But definitely Sufor, he's got a lot of belief now that he can go on to win this race.
Yeah, so much for saving those R2s.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he has the confidence that they will go until the end. There shouldn't be any worry about that then.
Yeah, now that we do see Sufor continuing his best work at the moment, Tamuli, he's going to have to find something incredible here, even to catch Creed before the end of the race, because they're lapping pretty much identically, and this is with Creed trying to have his tires cool down a bit. So Tamuli has to find incredible pace. As I see, Yarktel has hit the wall of Mercedes, the Mercedes arena there. He does
Once
back
again.
it up. Yeah, not for the first time, absolutely. But he did reverse and get going again before Tamuli could have been
car
obstructed.
Katila is limping very bad.
Those tires on the right side just don't have any heat in them whatsoever. So it's really difficult to complete any turns here.
That doesn't look really good.
He is on the harder compound.
He should come in and repair the damage. The whole car is going like sideways. It's twisted so bad.
I agree. Rony, of course, will see the speed. Simo's made a mistake. That means Stephen Martin is ahead. So something's gone wrong there for Simo. The right corner of the rear and front wheel arches, they are deeply compromised there. Suspension is reasonably okay, just a little bit on the rear right suspension there. And that means the battle for 6th place, that will eventually be a three-way fight with Rony. It's swung in the opposite direction, and Stephen Martin is through.
Yeah, good for Stephen Martin, of course. Unlucky that we didn't get to see fight. But Stephen Martin, he's done a good job keeping it consistent and keeping his pace fair enough to get up to P6.
Yeah, I suppose the battles we saw earlier in the race, Steve did get a few passes done, but usually he likes to just wait for the race to come towards him rather than forcing the agenda. But of course, he does have the talent to go for broke when he needs to. But today, it's almost a case of the fewest mistakes will get you the best rewards due to the complexity of these barriers. For example, I know a few drivers have met the wall. Of course, we saw the big race-altering mistake there from Creed under the significant heat and spotlight from Sufor there. That has made sure that Sufor has a commanding lead, but maybe he has made a mistake on this lap, and Creed has a small window back into play, but it's not enough so far.
Yeah, I was just looking so far a bit. He's pushing the car as hard as he can, starting to make a little bit of mistakes like that. He's going wide, not really turning into corners. I mean, he has still some gap to Creed, so he can afford a little bit of that, but he should really come and pick up his consistent going so he doesn't lose too much time and allow the battle to come up.
Yarktel is parked just at the second to last corner exit. You know where the drag strip is. He's just parked there. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he is enough out of the way so that no one will be affected by him resetting his controls. There's a perfect aerial cam, so that's where your drag strip would be on the real circuit. But he has found whatever control he needed to change just in time before Sufor meets him head to head. But we will monitor the lap. It's one of Sufor's worst of the second stint here. Certainly a long time since he's been that slow, but there we go. 1 of 42. That's way below his usual standard, and Creed gains 2 seconds and 3/10 in that one lap alone, but it's not enough. It has to be another mistake from Sufor to change the destiny here. Oh, it's a disconnection of the wheel, so I think Jari needs to use his keyboard to get him to the finish here.
Yeah, that's it's been a hard evening for Katila, but he's still fighting there. He's still going, and let's hope he can bring it to the finish line.
Yeah. Lap down here for Michael Malik against Stephen Martin. Rony's in the pits. Rony is in the pits, which means Johnny SVK will return to 4th position. A 10.25 second stop just to change the tires.
Oh, and it's going to be close. Stephen Martin is just coming to the first corner as well as Rene's exited the pits, and Stephen Martin might have a little bit of faster speed over here, but Rony is ahead. But can Stephen Martin make any attack here?
Yeah, Rony changed the left side tires, as a matter of fact, His right sides are okay to continue. So good lateral thinking there by Rony. He knew Steve changed all of his tires without refueling, so that was one way he could overhaul him, and he's done it by saving time in the pits. But it means Stephen has perhaps 2 laps to change the opportunity here to make sure he has peak condition tires, whereas Rony has to get his left side tires up to speed. So I would say, Miika, Steve has 2 chances to pass Rony before he has to throw in the towel.
Yes, indeed. Let's see how it goes. Stephen Martin, he's just under a second behind Rony, and it's a little bit oversteer for Martin, so that doesn't really help him.
Yeah, Mobile 1 curve is going to be so bad for him.
Yes, but as we have seen, the best overtaking spot is on the hard braking just after the long straight, and now Rody has allowed Stephen Martin to creep up so close, and if Stephen just can keep patient enough and get a good exit for like out of turn 2 into the long straight, he will have a certain advantage here.
He's thinking about it, but if he's not ahead by the braking zone boards, and yeah, he's right just to hold back and a bit squirrely there, and that allows Rony a little bit ahead. So Steve just beeps the horn there, perhaps in self frustration. There was his own mistake, but if he can push really hard, I think Rony may feel more at home with the car now. And penultimate lap coming in just a little while for our race leader Sufor. Creed is doing his best just to make this a fair fight. I think Sufor might be letting off the gas a little bit too much. It's a bad omen to be doing that. I know he probably could have with a 10-second lead, but it's totally different with the 3-second lead. So 2 laps to go for a race leader. The best battle on circuit is Rony versus Stephen Martin, and Steve has to be absolutely perfect in the 3rd sector to make this the contest I believed is realistic. Here we go. Good braking there from the white and pink machine.
Yeah, Stephen Martin, he wasn't patient enough on the last lap. He struggled through the first corner and lost a bit of time compared to Rony, and didn't get the slipstream from after turn 2. But let's see if the last time around he can make it any closer.
Yeah, here we go now. He's got to be perfect again, as Rony has the match point at the moment. There we go, pretty even. Oh, a small bit of the wall there, or bite of the wall for Stephen. And he will definitely have lost about a second there. So, yeah, it looks like the car is really misbehaving now. The front left is going to be weaker on Steve's car. So, Rony looks to have this one made. Sufor's lead is 1.5 seconds here.
It's coming down very fast.
Oh, he's gone
Sufor's
wide. The tire goes down.
Oh,
and Creed,
it lost the tire in the end. Oh
he
no.
has lost the tire with 1.2 laps to go. And that means Creed is in line for a default victory here. This is unbelievable.
So far, he didn't go to the pits. He's gonna nurse it the last lap, and I think that's that's both front tires flat for so far. And no way he's gonna take the win this way. So Creed is gonna take the win, but now how fast can Sufor take that car around the lap? That should be guaranteed for Tehemuli to get through him as well, and maybe even I'm not sure if Johnny SVK is close enough.
Let's think about the championship now. Tamuli is going to inherit 2nd place if he pushes extremely hard. Yeah, the fronts are gone. Both the fronts are gone. And Tamuli, he will rise to 2nd place to the championship here. And that will give him an outside shot at the title if Gabor is in attendance. But it will need a much higher ratio of drivers for the season finale at the start of December to make it realistic for Tamuli once he catches up. But Sufor is going to not be able to take this hairpin whatsoever. There's just no way. Look at this. He's down to 40 kilometers an hour. Absolutely ridiculous.
He needed to save his tires, and he just started pushing for the fastest laps. And yeah, this is the price he paid.
Yeah, that's very true. He was going for broke on those tires, and he's gonna fail to improve on his personal best of a 3rd position.
Yeah, there's not
you
too many corners to go,
yeah.
but Emily is already right there. Emily is gonna take that position from Sufor. There's no way Sufor
He
can
will
manage
definitely
that.
get through. Yeah, there we go.
There he goes. Johnny
Thank you,
SVK is still
Swami, please.
far away, so I believe Sufor is safe for the podium, but still not able to get any better than the personal best.
Yeah, he has to settle for 3rd place again, and Creed has done it through his superior strategy, but it was a close run thing as the gap was shrinking all of a sudden, and that was exactly why the tires were out of performance. And there we go, big power slide across the line. I was trying to think of what thank you is in Swami. Miika, do you know what it is?
That is Skitos.
Very good, Skitos. So Tamuli has an outside shot of this RTF4XL title with 1 round to go next month. He's driven a quiet race, but he inherits 2nd position, and a very angry Sufor from pole position fails to convert yet again.
You can see already Johnny SVK, he came close, but he was just too far away. Steve almost got Rony there on the back run, but Rony was able to keep it until the end and take the 5th position. As we see Simox, who was counted in the contest for the 5th place as well, but he made a mistake and lost out there. Gets his bit hurt car back over the line.
And that's all 10 finishers over the line now. Hermani 4 laps down, just spinning around as his long evening comes to an end. 1 hour, 17 minutes and 29 seconds. So definitely an extended edition here of XL. I hope you all enjoyed, but we will summarize it in just a moment. A shocking conclusion. We have seen it before in XL editions in the past. I know Rick Cardle was on course to win it. West Hill one time, but his tires went pop. But tonight, fortune favored the long brain thinker here of Creed, making sure he got a new set of tires on board, and he delivers the win. Tamuli with 2nd place there. He'll feel like, how on earth did I get 2nd place out of that? Because he had no competition all night long, sitting in 3rd place all throughout the race, never really in danger. But the Sufor punctures has cost him about 50 seconds on that last lap, so he was doomed, but at least he did get a podium for his work. Johnny SVK, very, very composed drive to P4 ahead of Rony in 5th. Steve Martin tried his best there to catch the long stinter there, but it wasn't to be. Simo, P7 there, he'll feel like he had a chance at 5th place, but just 1 or 2 things went wrong for him. Michael Malik was in that battle for 6th place for the first 10 or 12 laps, but then he had some serious problems and he ended up going down a lap in P8. Hermani, P9, 4 laps down, and then Yarkatilla, who crashed and went out of bounds after going on his roof briefly at Mobile 1 curve, was 10th place, 13 laps down. Mad Jester was a good contender, but he ended up failing to finish. And then Victor Lowe, another very impressive driver there. He ended up Mad Jester ran out of fuel. That's what it was. Yeah, Mad Jester ran out of fuel, and then Victor Lowe made too many mistakes, and he had enough. So Miika, my word, how did you enjoy that?
Well, I certainly did. Even though we had the lowest attendance in quite a while, the action was right there. There was no less action than usual, maybe even more than usual. So it was a very great race. And I can only imagine what it was if there was like 20, 30 cars. So,
of course, yeah. Onifus, I think, chose the combo, if I recall. And unfortunately, he wasn't here to put his own combination choice to the test. So, yeah, I think it would be great to see this run again at a more popular time of the year. So, yeah, it was absolutely thrilling stuff. But Creed, it took him so long just to get through because on circuit, Sufor had him covered every which way. But then the pit stop, he was actually quicker out of the pits than Sufor. But we realized when Sufor forced Creed into a mistake, it It was actually Sufor who had his own the sword of Damasceles, or however you pronounce it. I forget exactly, but yeah, he had that on threat hovering above him, so that's what altered this race. And there we go. Thank you very much to Chris McElroy for organising all our cameras for the race to make sure they were accurate to real life, and indeed for cycling through them all to help this broadcast become possible. And there we go. We have one last round to go, December 2nd, where we will crown a champion one way or the other, with Gabor hopefully ready to fight for the title that he has been so comprehensively dominant in. He's perhaps taking a foot off the gas, Miika, but he has this December 2nd at the combo of Creed's Choice to try and wrap up the title.
Yeah, it's up to Creed to set up a good finale for the season. Let's see what he cooks up for us. I hope it's something as interesting as this. Yeah, that
Absolutely.
wraps up this race, and well, one race to go. If Gabor does show up, it's pretty much cemented that he will get the title. If he doesn't, then if there is enough people joining into the race, then we still might have a shot, as he closed down the gap quite a bit tonight. But we'll see that the next time.
Yes, we will, Miika, and thank you very much as well for your co-commentary. It really is greatly appreciated. I know you have been in the cars more often as well with Retro Cup, and even the stream on yesterday, of course. The what's it called again? I keep forgetting. It's gone blank there. The Zafiralis all
the all-rounder championship.
Yeah, all-rounder championship. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, that was on yesterday.
Think that one myself.
Yeah. So we've had plenty of action in the last 2 days, and I hope for plenty more. But we'll definitely call it time. As I'm definitely starting to fade out a bit. But for myself, Eoin Harmon, and Miika Särkkinen on the call, and Chris McElroy for broadcast direction, it's a good night, and thank you for watching.
Good night.